Hello everyone. In this video and basically any other upcoming video um, so far in the remainder of this month, which is October, which is known as always the creepiest month of all of any other month in the year. I would like to basically talk about creepy, interesting characters and basically pop culture, whether anime or comic book related, of course, especially if you've seen anything that I've posted so far on this beautiful little profile that I've been trying to create and build with my new YouTube channel that I'm trying to create and build, kind of like how let me basically think for a second. Um, the Valeska, basically how like John Valeska from basically essentially his name is Joker. He's it's basically he's never named Joker in Gotham, but you get what I mean. He's basically a mastermind like Joker and a maniacal type of individual like Joker as well too, especially how he is in the brain and whatnot, and how his mannerisms is. But let's get into it when it comes to this video. This video is mainly about the movie for the first Purge, the prelude before the other three purges that were created. And of course, most people most likely have watched the first Purge, which was the prelude. Now, my thing with talking about the movie, even though it's been a while, it has been up. There is a main character in there that has interest me, that was interesting to me, and basically I wanted to talk about him in a sense. There are other main characters in there, of course, that interest me the most as well, but I would like to talk about him the most. And his name was Skeletor. Skeletor, that's a funny, interesting name because by the end of the day, it's just Skeletor reminds me of back in my old days, since I'm a '90s type of guy. Um, I watched Transformers. I've basically watched all of the anime that were '90s, whether Yu Yu Hakusho, DBZ, to Zoids, to even Gundam, and the list goes on. But my thing with Skeletor, besides his name reminding me of basically the villain slash character from He-Man, pun intended, is just that Skeletor, when it comes to his mannerisms and his basically his mannerisms and his urges as a person, especially a twisted villain like person, is the fact of he it is with his victims, his past victims, he basically has a thing where he likes to cut people and basically take them out by cutting them obsessively, and even has a dagger or a shank or some type of knife of some sorts when basically doing these type of deeds with his different types of victims. Now, honestly, when it comes to these mannerisms, I would like to say he reminds me of the the same character named Victor Zsasz from basically Batman DC comics, and basically Victor. There's two descriptions of him, but you know what? Just so we can avoid confusion, because there are probably some people who watch Gotham, so I'm going to get this out the way. Gotham Victor, he's more of a hitman specialist. Basically, if I'm correct, I think he was bald, and he was literally a hitman specialist where he can assassinate anyone, no matter what the task is. He may have been a little bit twisted to a degree, but he still was a big hitman and didn't care about most people. I think he even took out Mister Freeze's homie one time on accident. But that was a while. That was a while back. Now, aside from Gotham's basically Victor's ass, pun intended, when it comes to to my beginning of my video, making a reference to the show Gotham with John Valeska, which is one of my favorite villains, and um, inmates from Arkham Asylum, because of course, like I kind of like described his characteristics, he is a Joker. The producers of Gotham, they don't have the rights to call him fully Joker 100%, but Valeska, but in the Valeska name, he does basically represent Joker very well. He represents Joker very well with his mannerisms and his twisted mind and etc. Now, getting deeper into it, it would be just honestly, that's Victor's ass from Gotham being a big hitman. Now, Victor's ass from like comic books and people that have played Gotham games, they probably know Gotham games or Batman Arkham Asylum games. They should know to a degree what Victor's ass is. But basically, Victor is basically the guy where he's the same exact thing where Skeletor is from I try to remember, from basically the first purge of the prelude. Is just the fact of for the prelude, Skeletor, he basically, like I said before, he cuts his victims and he has a thing where he takes enjoyment with it. I think he even cuts himself a little bit after he cuts his victims. Now, aside from all that, Zaz is the same exact way when it comes to his mannerisms. His mannerisms is when he cuts his victims and takes them out by cutting them, he automatically adds a tally to some one way or another on basically anywhere on his body, whether head, torso, arms, anywhere. He adds a tally, adding up basically the kills that he has done. Kind of similar if I had to, you know, what's the word? If I had to equalize and balance every everything about my video, especially since, well, I noticed I don't have, sadly, I do not have any of my DC shirts on. I have my X-Men shirt on, so I'm going to be real with you. If I got to equalize stuff, basically Zaz tallies up his kills just like how Killmonger tallies up his kills from the Black Panther movie when he basically tallies up all his kills by throughout all his body through the torso and whatnot and chest especially. Now, both Skeletor and Zaz interest me in their mannerisms because they think the same way, they act the same way, and they're technically similar or the same in a sense. Actually, if I even have to get deeper when it comes to like Skeletor, there was a time where basically when the first prelude purge was going on. Now, mind you, this is the first prelude. Most people, despite most people probably watching them, probably most likely watched the movie. I just gotta say this vocally, since it was the first prelude purge. It's the fact of nothing was exactly what's the word? Nothing was exactly like detrimental or finalized when it comes to the first prelude purge. You had a choice of you either become a part of the experiment, whether or not you know how people would function to the government conspiracy of taking out lower classes, or you basically were one of the people where it's like, no, I don't want no part of this. I may have contacts or something 50-50, but aside from all that, it's just the fact that I want no part of this. I just want to chill and stay home safe, or I would just chill and just basically party with other people on the streets. Those were basically your options in a sense, especially with what basically neighborhood that was going on and this controlled neighborhood that was going on with the first prelude purge. Now, in the movie, why I explained the whole thing of there was no detrimental circumstances, there were people that had a choice in a sense of what they could do, whether to party or just stay safe at home. It's just the fact of, well, it's the fact that basically when the purges did get more heavier and heavier, people just stayed at home. There was no choice of a party or anything. Those were detrimental times. Now, aside from all that, Skeletor saw all these people basically partying up in the streets, and he just mosey on in there with some sexy curvy girls and whatnot, and was like, "All right, yeah, yeah," partying like it's no tomorrow. And then with a big ass grin and smile, twisted smile, he's like, "Yeah, I got your ass," and then just basically stabs or basically slits one of the girl, one woman basically on the street while they was partying and stuff. Now, I forgot whether he killed her automatically or he stabbed her upside the leg. But aside from that, it was basically a pretty fatal kill with cutting her and whatnot. Now, Zaz, if I had to say anything, Zaz is pretty much similar or the same. He doesn't really care. With his tendencies and mannerisms, he doesn't really care how he kills his victim. He'll just kill him by just violently cutting them with a knife, one way or the other, physically, or he just does it in a smart, strategic way. He doesn't really care, but at the same time, he's like a vampire in a sense. He tends to want to like cut someone, have like a strong want with cutting someone. If I had to give a good example of his strong vampirish bloodlust of a want of cutting people, it would be the fact of basically in the Telltale Batman Arkham game in a sense. That's a good example. When Joker was like, "All right, Brucey boy, I can help you break out of this cell and whatnot from Arkham or this whole ordeal, but we're going to have to make a deal and whatnot." And they made a deal. Well, after that, when they made that little ordeal, Joker was like, "Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Batsy boy. All we need to do is just basically um, have one inmate make basically a big riot in this cafeteria, and we'll be home free, Batsy boy." So what he did was he basically took a knife, whether it some random knife, whether it was like some like kitchen utensil from the mess hall in the prison or something else, and made a tally mark cut against Zaz's head or somewhere on his body, and he was like, "Oh my god, I got a new mark on my body. I need to cut somebody. I need to cut somebody. I need to kill somebody so I can basically equal so I can basically, equalize the balance of this new tally mark on my body part." So that's how bad Zaz's like what's the word? His urges are in a sense. He can't control his urges when you either add a time mark to him or he sees you as appropriate prey and whatnot. Same thing as Skeletor. When Skeletor sees prey, he that's very vulnerable and can be very manipulative. He'll take advantage and just do the deed right there and then. Don't even care about it. But that's my whole video about it. And yeah, please leave a like and subscribe if you like my videos, especially this one. And also please subscribe if you want to /can. Thank you. Bye.